All right, welcome to another episode from the chart reader. So I really wasn't planning on making a video for the sector. I think I kind of wanted to see how things played out, but let me at least share some thoughts, share what I'm thinking about going into today's elections. Really, I think a little bit less about the presidential election and more about the state elections, all right? And I'll get to both of those thoughts shortly, all right? The other thing to really call out is, look, if you've seen my videos before, we're normally in the daily and the weekly. I'm zoomed out to the monthly. You can see the M is highlighted blue right now, right? I really want to emphasize this little moment right here. And I've been doing it, but I at least wanted to flash this in the beginning just in case people kind of fast forward to other parts. But look, I think to me, with the election today, honestly, I don't think either candidate is better or worse for the sector. Okay, I think they've both been equally, and I'm using the word equally, all right? Let me know if you disagree, right? I'm just some dude giving my thoughts, right? But Kamala has put some very pro-positive tweets. Trump has put some stuff on Twitter. He's put some stuff on his Truth Social, and they've, again, both, I think, been equally positive. Both have been, hey, it's gonna happen. Let's make it happen correct. Let's use the tax monies correctly, right? I don't think either of them matter. What I'm watching, and I'll share this link. This was actually shared in the Discord. Oh, I moved away from it. But look, there's Florida, there's North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, another Nebraska, Massachusetts with psychedelics, right? Like, I'm not even logged in, right? Like, all of these are live polls. Oregon's got there's a lot. Texas decriminalization, that's huge right there, right? I mean, there are a lot of things going on in this election. Clearly, Florida's on the top. Florida's got the most eyes, but hey, there's a lot of good that can do. The Discord, one of the last things I said before I started recording, you gotta watch these three, and again, they're all Florida based. If Florida legalizes, oh man, and remember, they voted no already. I sincerely remember the last Florida ballot. A lot of people said no, it's not going to pass. I was some naive optimistic who believed that the sector was going to be federally legal already, let alone way before. You know what I mean? But it seems like most people genuine. And when I say most people, I'm not even talking about this publication. I'm talking about very reputable, far more unbiased, and far more sector neutral, right? A lot of people think this is about to be a yes, right? So I'm excited to see what all these do. And again, one more time, I kind of don't care if it's Kamala or Trump. I think both are going to help the sector. I don't think one's going to hinder it more than the other, all right? So yeah, that was kind of a longer opening thought. And again, I think things are going to be a little more thoughts than technicals, but I promise you I will come into to show the lines and my thoughts on those, all right? But before we do go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do. Look, we will look at the daily and the weekly, but I'm taking a look at the monthly right now. But we'll look at some time frames. You know that, right? I draw horizontal support and resistance lines. We have our 5 moving averages, and then when we're done on the top half, we're going to use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video all over the internet. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here, giving me your time, oh, I'm so grateful for it, all right? So, look, there's been a lot of good happening the last few days. And believe me, and I started the video with it, I'm going to come back into the daily and the weekly. We'll look at the shorter time frames. But I want to show this monthly view across most of the across all the tickers that I normally look at, right? I think tilray is a little bit of the loudest, all right? And what am I looking at? Look, 2020 was the last election year. Starting this, look, OND means October, November, December, and then this is the start of 2021, right? So this right here is the end of October, this right here is the end of November, this right here is December, this is the first January candle in 2021. Tilray was on a bad downtrend until the elections happened. This is the November candle, and then until the man went into the office. That's the January candle, right? That those are the 2 months. November is this election, January something, I think 12th, maybe 5th. I'll be honest, I don't know. I don't really care about politics that much, right? But that's when the winner goes in. And to me, that's an interesting moment. That's the moment we're also in right now. Look, we are in, I would say that this October candle here and this October candle here are kind of similar. Obviously, this one's a red one and the other one's a green one, right? But October starts under the 8 moving average, and lo and behold, it's November that's starting to work its way up, all right? Let's see what happens. But hey, a lot of the way technical analysis works is stocks remember. This isn't a random, like, I use roulette. Like, this isn't some plastic ball spinning that really doesn't know that it's hit black 6 times in a row, right? Like, it is the same 50-50, minus the green ones, obviously, on that 7th. To me, it remembers. It remembers this election moment was pretty good. Hopefully, that's what we see here, all right? Look, with CGC, it doesn't seem as loud, all right? I realize it doesn't, but there was a bad downtrend happening, and it did stop the downtrend, and clearly it continued after. So I sincerely believe if that little, and again, it's the same October, November, December of 2020 when this little uptrend happens. If this didn't happen, we would have exponentially gotten down here faster. You know what I mean? So it doesn't look as big, but it is still there. All right. ACB, not as loud. Again, I realize that, but again, it was in a death spiral. It happens to do all right and then back into the death spiral, right? So some are louder than others. High tide, let's take a look at high tide. Where is it? Look at this one, right? This one obviously does very, very nicely in that little October, November, December moment, okay? And actually, I would even say it continues on a little bit longer than Tilray did, if I'm not mistaken. No, Tilray got a decent February and actually a crazy wick on the February. So yeah, high tide definitely did, very much follow, right? SNDL is another one. Look at that. October, November, December, a little bit of a February, and then right back down, right? So MSOS, another one, right? Oh, interesting. This one the ETF starts here. So I don't know if that's fair, but hey, even in not, like, that's the same little moment and window, right? And then obviously the same downtrend after, right? So of all the stocks that we look at, right? October, November, December, and a kiss of February during the election window is a potential. All right. Again, October, we were under the 8 moving average. I really don't care about the wick. I don't care that the wick kissed it, right? But I can say October, I think we're less under the moving average, right? Like, I hope that made sense, but that looks like a further distance than that right there. You know what I mean? So I'm looking to see if history will repeat itself. Again, that's how technical analysis works. How high will it run and this and that? That I don't know. And that's where I'm going to use the shorter time frames to kind of make my move. But this is something I really wanted to show because I've been talking about it, but again, I don't know what part people watch. I'll make this what I think is its own chapter. Let's kind of come into the daily and the weekly now. All right. So I think what's starting to happen is a sincere belief in these state elections. Okay. And I mentioned it here. Let's see if I can find it with the word winner. Nope, not that one. I actually was wondering this. If you have an answer, let me know. Are they going to declare a winner today? My gut is saying no just because of how tight everything is, but let me know. This is, I believe it. Right here. Okay, so first off, let me read almost word for word what Coleman. There's a reason he got drawn into my background. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I love watching people go from night and day. Oh my gosh, right? Look, stay disciplined. We're obviously, and we were very much talking about CGC, right? Like, there's a lot going on. Look, We have been caught up with squeezes. It's so true. We've left so many Schedule 3. I've left so many Schedule 3 profits. I did. I bit the apple on the I'm not. You can go back to the videos and watch. I bit the apple. I did. You know what I mean? And yeah, unfortunately, there was a little bit of a worm in there, and I should have banked more, and I didn't. I might have even taken a loss. I'm telling you, I really so many trades. You move on, right? But it's true, and this one hit me so well. We've seen the hype of the squeeze only to dump. Not saying it's going to happen, and I'm also not saying it's going to happen, but bringing caution in this moment will probably do you well. And it's kind of the baseline of my videos, right? Set a higher criteria for yourself, all right? So kind of a small little tangent. I apologize. I thought that was a good moment. What I really wanted to focus on, and it is what I said, all right? I sincerely believe the winner doesn't matter here. I sincerely believe Kamala and Trump have been both pro-weed and both as pro-weed as the other. You know what I mean? Like, again, let me know if you disagree. It's the Florida legalization. And I even said, I forgot that was part. I was so focused on these two names. I forgot. And I didn't even know there was more than Florida. I'll be genuine. I did not know that North and South Dakota had some stuff going on. This is full legalization, all right? I had no idea Nebraska was looking at just straight legalization and regulation and medical. Like, that's awesome. You know what I mean? Like, I had no idea psychedelics are like, that's obviously another set of tickers, and I owe a psychedelic video. I sincerely apologize. Dude, decriminalization, I'm like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's legal. Like, there's been votes, but California is pretty much decriminalized. If other states copy, I mean, come on, especially if it's Texas, a relatively red one, doing a pretty hardcore decriminalization. I mean, that's huge, right? So there is a lot going on. There's genuinely more than I realized was going on. And that's what matters. And I believe the general sentiment is these are going to pass. Now, I think the one thing to stress, man, I really should have opened the fireplace because none of these are really technical thoughts, right? But I think the one thing to stress, and it just goes back to Coleman's comments, we've seen this hype before, we've seen the squeeze thoughts. Just be cautious. Even if everything ends up being yes, 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 buy the news, sell the rumor. Buy the news, sell the rumor. Buy the rumor, sell the news. The rumor is they're all gonna say yes. The news was they were yes, and that's when the dump happens, right? So I mean, there's a lot of hype, but day one doesn't matter that much. All right. And what I mean by that is, look, I care more about a year after legalization in Florida. I care more about, hey, what was Florida planning on getting in tax revenue, and what did they actually get? Did they get more taxes than that? Like, imagine if you were expecting $10 million in taxes to use in your state, and all of a sudden you get 40, you get 4x more than you were expecting. That's going to be a loud head. Imagine if you get 50%, 60% less. That's going to be a bad, right? Like, I care more about the data after legalization. And that could bring the buy the rumor hype that's happening, all right? But hey, one more time. I'm expecting more things to be yes than no. I don't know if buy the rumor, sell the news is going to be a thing, all right? What are we looking on the technical side? And let me just kind of run through them all quickly. Look, this has been and this continues to be the line for me. I don't think it's really worth lowering it. If you really want, you can make an argument for like 190. At that point, I think a couple cents is worth it, right? But break 193, I'm going to start to believe that you're over all five moving averages. And look how far up my next resistance is, right? MACD is positive. RSI is still a healthy 67, and we have green over red on both, right? Volumes, it's pick. Look, there was a sea of red in the volume. I think it's getting a little more 50-50, and obviously as you start looking in a little bit closer, it's actually a little bit more green than red, right? So hopefully things are changing on the volume side, but it's just not quite enough for me to believe. You get TLRY over $1.93, $1.95, $1.99, $2. oof, that's when it feels like the snowball will start going. All right, exact same thoughts on CGC, just a different line. Break 650. Break 650, and I gotta believe that we're going to 840, if not higher, right? Again, we have the positive MACD, we still have a healthy RSI, green over red on both. And again, what was pretty bad volume, I see far more red than green, all of a sudden is starting to get into better, and I would say actually a little bit better volume than Tilray was looking like. So CGC, same thoughts, just different lines. Let's take a look at ACB. I've been a fan of ACB. I liked the earnings. I'm a little surprised it came all the way down to the 200, but hey, the strongest line to break up is the hardest line to lose down. It did the job. We are back over. That's a monster candle. That's a really interesting doji. Tomorrow should be very, very telling for ACB. I can see this flying as high as 670, maybe closing around I think you can get to here. I think 647 is actually a little bit realistic for ACB. Otherwise, it's going to drop down to I don't even think that low. Let's call it 585. Truth be told, I think the upper shot is realistic. I'm really liking that I've gone through a few and I'm seeing the same MACD, RSI, and volume story. Right, there was a lot of red on the volume. Right, like you can just see it. It's starting to look really nice in these last couple weeks, especially as you start zooming in more and more. Right, so break me that 615. I think 740. Oh man, I got another 9 above it. ACB is looking nice. SNDL, look at this day. SNDL, look at this day. I believe SNDL probably should have been part of my list of 3. I think SNDL does have a big foothold in Florida. Please let me know if that's an incorrect statement. But yeah, SNDL very much only cares about Florida, right? Obviously, the other states are going to be nice and whatnot. But if Florida hits and SNDL does have that big foothold that I believe I've seen the viewers tell me about, I think this candle is indicative of what people think the election's going to turn out to be. And if you went back and watched the last couple of my videos, I was actually out I kept saying ACB and SNDL were the nicer of the two, and SNDL started to creep better than ACB as well. And I think this is a good example of it. When you're looking at a bunch of tickers, find the bullish outlier. I do not have enough money to put it in all of them. If I did, I would be so thin that it like really would just be, it's too thin. Find the ones you like, find the bullish outliers, and you go big on those, right? But this is not financial advice, you know that. But yeah, I think SNDL really showed what finding the bullish outlier looks like. And again, I started with 2 and I was able to say, hey, it looked like this one was a little bit better than that other one, right? So SNDL, I'm loving it. Let me know if the Florida thing's wrong, but again, I believe that's why this one's moving a lot better than the other ones. I'm gonna quickly show TCNNF TrueLeave. Oh, get out of here. You look like this? That's an interesting dump. Get out of here. Cureleaf. What did you look? I wasn't even going to look into the MSOS URLF. That's an interesting doji right there. I like Cureleaf setup a lot more. VRNF? No, VRN Verano. OF. Ooh, that's an interesting dump too. Yo, why are you two dumping? I think those were the ones that I mentioned in my Florida ones too. This one came from another room. Yeah, those two actually had an interesting dump at the end. Interesting. I did a call out. It was from a different room. Odd. Looks like MSOS is holding though, right? Oh, it is. Yo, did that happen in the last 15 minutes? It really did. Because I know TCNNF. Not really. No, TCNNF dumped most of the day actually. Verano. Did you dump most of the day too? No, yours was in the last basically 15 minutes. Goodness, interesting. Interesting. Look, that's part of the me doing these live, right? I see some things that kind of catch my eye and I don't know what to think. I'll be real honest with you. I don't know what to think. Because again, I'm gonna just go back to it. I took it from another room, but I meant it and I put it here for a reason. These are all Florida based, and again, not those there should be going up, not down. So that's a little bit of a head scratcher right there. Let me know if you've got some interesting thoughts on that. But I will tell you, I actually have no thoughts, and that actually caught me by surprise. Um, I think I went through the tech. Oh, high tide, duh. Let's end it with high tide on technical thoughts. Oof. Look, what are we doing? We are riding the 8 moving average like a champion. We're breaking all 5 and flying, and then we're just bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and slipping but not confirming and bouncing back up. And what am I supposed to think? All I can really think about right now is I think we're probably going to go back to 315, right? The one thing I talked about is I would hate to lose the 8 moving average up here and fall all the way down there. The good thing is, as we've been holding it, the 20's been coming up. So, hey, the fall from here to here actually isn't as bad as it would have been when we originally talked about it, right? So that's another beauty of holding the, obviously you want to just bounce and go, right? But even just holding the line gives you the ability for the other lines to catch up, gives you the ability when you're on top to make the bottom channel a little smaller, a little safer, just in case you do slip. But yeah, at this point, I am looking at a stock that's just riding all the moving averages really well. And hey, if we lose the 8, it's not as bad a fall. This 20 is still super fresh. You know what I mean? So loving the high tide line. I'm assuming what's after 315. I don't even know. I have no lines over that. That's why I don't know. We'll draw a line. Look, I think it's a little aggressive to think it, but yeah, we should draw a line. And it's going to be the bottom of these. That looks pretty good. It's a little bit of a gap right there, but yeah, I think I'm going to take the bottom of these. I like that. I'm okay with that. I think an extra dollar here is not a bad target. I think 315 is the better line because, again, this is a difficult line that we have not crossed since since the middle of 2022. All right. So don't underestimate 315. That said, I think a $4 target on a $3 stock isn't too aggressive. And hey, going from 3 to 4 is a beautiful 33%, right? So let's see what happens tonight. Oh man, let's see. And buy the rumor, sell the news is a very real quote for a reason. All right. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Oh, I appreciate you so much.